EG proved everyone wrong this year when they made an insane run at Masters Tokyo, placing second when nobody believed in them. In this video, we're going to follow the story of how EG went from a bottom team in VCT Americas to the second best team in the world by breaking down important plays from every key match in their miracle run.
Oh my God!
This is a breakdown of the most insane run in Valorant history. This entire journey started when EG was made fun of for not making any significant roster moves during the offseason, while other teams were making massive pickups, which are definitely interesting to look at in hindsight. EG was chilling around with no major announcements. This was the first official VCT Americas franchise season, and EG looked like they completely forgot that they were even selected. Eventually a roster was announced, showing that they would keep their promising old core of Jajamo, Boostio, and Calm, with new additions of Ethan and BCJ to their roster. Although this did seem like a solid roster, they didn't escape that initial reputation and people continued to doubt them. When Demon 1 was initially subbed in for BCJ during Week 2 matches against 100 Thieves, this was just another sign to everyone that EG had absolutely no idea what they were doing.
What? Demon for BCJ?
As BCJ was one of North America's outstanding players from 2022. Nobody was surprised when EG started out the season with 1 win and 4 losses. They were supposed to fail after all. But when EG won the next 3 out of 4 games, playoffs was suddenly a possibility, but they no longer had any control of the outcome. This was the final match in VCT Americas that would decide the outcome of a tiebreaker between 100 Thieves and EG, and ultimately who made playoffs. If 100 Thieves won this game, EG would have been eliminated as an 8th place team, but MIBR had different plans. MIBR had been using this Viper setup all game to control A main. You can see how well it denies information from 100 Thieves. Even if 100 Thieves were able to push the Viper wall, the Viper orb allows MIBR to cross to rubble, which makes it dangerous for 100 Thieves to fight A main anyway. MIBR also throw a Sky Flash to fake greater presence, but only have Viper solo lurk A main. 100 Thieves keep 4 members stacked near A main since they have no information, but this was all planned by MIBR. Once 100 Thieves realize that there's only a lurker in A main, MIBR have already worked up close to C and take the site for free. Even though it's a 5v4 retake for 100 Thieves, MIBR have the bomb planted early, and 100 Thieves need to spend a lot of time re-clearing their spawn. Even though this push into spawn doesn't work for MIBR, it still takes even more time off the bomb. Derek makes a mistake here by solo peeking water while his entire team is still smoked off in spawn, and this is where things start to get bad for them. Time is low on the bomb and they have to worry about water, so 100 Thieves have no choice but to make assumptions and contest Mound directly, but MIBR are still on site. You can see that once Stellar clears water, Cryo turns towards spawn because they now know about the reflank. But it's a perfect timing for Toxin to come out. Because Cryo wasn't ready for this, he decides to push through the smoke too late into the spray down and gets timinged when Toxin already ran out of ammo. This sets up the famous knife clip and marks the start of EG's miracle run.
He's the hero in this scenario, and 100 Thieves have been denied!
Although EG made playoffs, there was little hope in them even winning a single match. NRG is one of North America's strongest teams and nobody expected them to lose this early, let alone against one of the teams that everyone thought was a bottom tier team. We all know Demon 1's insane aimbot shots to win split in overtime. But let's talk about this underrated thrifty win on Ascent, which completely changed the map for them. EG are on full eco in this round against NRG, and at this point in the game, it's pretty close, but this round completely turns the momentum of this game. NRG are very patient at the start of the round to avoid getting caught in aggressive pushes from EG. NRG eventually work up to A main and use Sova drone to clear, but Boostio makes an important play to push out of the smoked door and shoot the drone. It was definitely a mistake from NRG not to just use more of their utility like Sova Dart or KO Knife to confirm suspicions of a stack, but this single action from Boostio pushes energy back toward B where EG are stacked and ready. EG does so many small things amazingly that cause the round to crumble. You can see Crashy shoot the Sova Dart onto site, but Demon 1 just has this perfect off angle from the common dart and catches Victor off guard as he executes. Even though he doesn't kill them, it's actually a huge play where Victor is trying to chase down Demon 1 while two members on EG swing from back site. This smoke from Jajimo protects them from the long lane angles and gives them a lot of close angles to play around with their weaker guns. This round was barely won, and you can really see how every small detail mattered for this thrifty win to come together.
The kill with the right click classic. It's a 2v2, continuing the right clicks. And finally it's up to Boostio. But there's no time. They have to hunt him down.
Energy never recovered from this thrifty round, as they go on to lose the map 7-13, meaning they only won one more round after this thrifty. EG just had the game of their lives against NRG, so there's no way they do it again. But against C9, they really showed that their level was not just a fluke. In this round, EG boosted Calm up onto the box outside of Showers with Ray's Satchel. EG are just amazing at setting up bait and switch plays, and Demon 1 knows exactly how to bait for his team. Their plan was to control Showers while over-rotating to B so that the TP play would be covered. Demon 1 was pushed deep up Showers, and when C9 TP, he still gets one and is able to make it obvious that he fell back all the way to site. C9 are obviously going to be eager to punish this timing when Demon 1 is falling back, and it pulls them right into Calm's unexpected boost. Take note of the very well timed Astra smoke from Boostio on short A, combined with Calm's Viper smoke near truck, which stalled the rest of C9 and split the fight into two halves. This play against C9 really destroyed any morale they had left in this match, and showed that this run was not just a fluke. Although EG finished third regionally, the real test was at Masters against the best teams in the world. Their first match against Foot was a huge statement game. Down 9-12 on Lotus, EG quietly walk up B while 3 Foot members are positioned to fight C. Boostio had been farming the orb at Mound in many previous rounds, and Foot realized that he's only one charge from his ult. They set up to contest the orb at C, but EG stun Neon off of B and go for that orb instead. This sets up the Killjoy ult for B and a full 5v5 retake scenario. EG know that they need some more space to work with, and attempt to push upper, but the play doesn't work. Then Jajimo is left on site alone and dies as well. This is where Boostio gets the most important kill of the round. His team is smoked off and the door is opening while Foot are flooding site. He takes the only timing that he has to actually kill the door pusher, and this allows EG to now focus towards site. Instead of playing standard and waiting to spam the bomb when it's tapped, they try to punish the timing right before Foot tapped the bomb. Using Breach Stun and Sky Flash into the ult, Boostio takes the timing before they lose too much space and pushes through. Foot are completely caught off guard by this timing, and Boostio makes a huge play to save the game.
Not able to land the ace, but time is short. Cracks with 3, time ticking away, and there's no way that we just saw that.
This was such a devastating loss to Foot that they did not win another round in this game, and EG won the map 14-12. DRX has been one of the best teams in the world since Valorant began, so this was another huge test for EG. This is an amazing round on Ascent where EG start in a 2-3 split to take control of A main and maintain control of B main. Now EG can work to retake mid and are intelligently careful, as they drop the Omen Smoke Cat with a flash and dart into Arches, which perfectly pushes away DRX's Opper. Without fighting a single enemy, EG have control of mid, A main, and B main, which forces DRX members to blindly choose a side since they no longer have any good info. This sets up EG for the late round split onto B. Time is running incredibly low, but EG still play every small detail perfectly. Jajimo almost gets caught out with his utility, but Demon 1 applies just enough pressure to save him. If Jajimo did not Omen flash back site, Calm would not have been able to make it onto site with the bomb in time. Then, as Calm sticks the plant, his teammates make it to hold the pushes and protect him. In hindsight, Mako not using his last smoke to smoke stairs or some close angle to give himself space really cost DRX this round in the final seconds, but EG played the setup and execution of this round extremely well. This was another devastating loss, which causes DRX not to win another round in this game.
Into the way, finds the second, will it be the finisher? Flash through, RB will not be able to do it. EG.
EG got a rematch against Loud at Masters after they lost to them in the VCT Americas playoffs. Let's take a look at how EG set up A site to be a huge trap for Loud. In this pistol round, we can see how EG are leading toward B site, clearly comfortable with Loud going A. Loud recognize that EG are stacked toward B and work toward the weakly held A site, but EG have a trap set up on A. Boostio uses both mollies to flush the entire area under Hell, while the Sova Dart and Omen Blind come in at the same time, creating complete chaos for Loud. This setup actually works really well because the best spots to hide from the fast retake is exactly where Boostio places his mollies. This other clip is from Loud's first gun round, where EG allow Loud to take site again, but ensure that they have tree control. Loud have A again, but by spamming Spectres and using utility onto site, EG make all of A site extremely chaotic to hold and steal another round on their bonus.
Boostio finds Aspas and now they're doing some serious damage. It's only on less. How many bonus rounds can these boys convert? Less! Gave it a damn good go!
This series was a huge statement, as both maps were not even close. Team Liquid allowed Fracture through, despite it being EG's best map, and they were shown why. EG was well aware of attempts from Team Liquid at aggressive arcade control early on in this game. We can see Team Liquid set up for it using Viper Wall and Sky Flash at the beginning of round 2 and 3. In round 5, we see a perfect counter strat from EG by sending Breach solo into arcade with his ult. Once it's obvious Team Liquid players were in arcade, Ethan rips the Breach ult to push them into the rest of his team coming out of B main. EG end up winning this map 13-2, and it ended up being one of the most dominant victories in this entire tournament. After losing to Fnatic in the upper bracket, EG are now playing Paper Rex in the lower bracket. EG was a team that no one thought would be here, but Paper Rex was unable to get their star player Something a visa in time to play the event. Both teams were certainly expected to go out much earlier in this tournament, but only one team would get their chance at completing the miracle run. In Game 4, we see a familiar play from EG during an eco, which helps them win a Thrifty. EG set up for a play to fight for B long, which is a common spot for attackers to go when defenders are on an eco. We actually saw this same play done by NRG against Loud, and I'll play a clip that explains what makes this play special. Normally, you would play anti-flash on this wall very calmly. We can see Loud do it in their match against EG. Les is not worried at all staying turned from the flash, since all other options are covered by his teammates. But when the wall comes down, you're forced to hold in front of you because there might be enemies right behind the wall. This is actually a very common way to peek the Viper wall, and we can see Sadhack use the wall drop strategy himself to take a huge fight against NRG in their lock-in match. So Loud are sneaking up on the wall this time, but right before NRG take the fight, Finesse puts down his Viper wall. Loud hears the wall drop sound cue and are inclined to hold it, but NRG combo it with a flash and they completely blind all of Loud. EG run the exact same play in this scenario. Paper Rex hear the wall drop sound, so they have to hold the wall but get flashed instead. This gives EG a good trade, which is 3 for 2 on an eco, and Demon 1 then gets a 1v1 kill on the Lurker, so now it's just 2v2. EG actually have great timing on A, so they play aggressive to prevent the planter from leaving site and repositioning. By doing this, it also forces the Astra in A main to commit to the 2v2. Otherwise, his site player has to deal with the 1v2, and then he has to 1v2 to defend the bomb. In this tough position, Mindfreak peaks a bit too early before Forsaken is actually in trouble, and EG win a huge Thrifty round. This series puts EG in the finals against Fnatic, guaranteeing a second place finish. Combined with the Japanese crowd, EG had one of my favorite walkouts ever. but unfortunately, they might have used up all their strats for the walkout. It was really cool to see EG use both recent bind innovations, which is the Chamber from Loud and the Reyna from Paper Rex. They definitely showed us moments of brilliance from both picks in this map, but they were just not able to challenge Fnatic, who are clearly the team to beat this year. I think we're all waiting to see if EG have the second place curse once Champions rolls around. If you have time, check out my last video for how Fnatic hard countered EG on Split to become reigning VCT champions.
What do you reckon about the new EG roster? I think it's fine. I don't know why people are so like rude about that roster. That team did just fine last season.
Remember that I offer free team coaching live on my Discord, and also consider supporting me on Patreon, which helps me out a lot. Thanks again for watching.